Murakoze nitwa Ndabaramiye Frederic nkaba
Thank you so much. My name is Dabaramiya Frederic. I'm the assistant coordinator of this center, UCC Ubumwe Community Center.
twaragitangiye mu 2005.
So we started this center in 2005. It was not easy. It was because it was the transition after genocide. So we had different problems, and I myself, I had different problems. The problems are not other than, we had different scars from the genocide. We had wounds from the genocide. I'm here as an example, an illustration to show people that even though I have no hands, but I can do things like other people, normal people do. People do think that it's impossible, but I'm here to show you that it's possible. So I can do things, different things, like especially things that people have to use their hands. I can draw, I can write with my hands, but if people think it's impossible, I'm here to show you that it's possible. So I can use a pen, or I can use a pencil to draw, I can write on the computer and stuff like that. This helps me to show example and to be an example I myself, but also to teach other people who think that this is impossible. For me to be wounded or to have a scar or what happened to me. So if you have someone to share your story, it's really important in life. So I was born like other children with both hands, both legs, and I was born like other children. Right after genocide in 1994, like after 4 years, that was in 1998. So in 1998, that's when they cut off my both arms, and they started by my palm hands, and they cut my hands. So that was an example. They told me Interahamwe, these are rebels called Interahamwe. Those guys, the ones who cut off my both hands, both arms, and they were like, "We're giving you an example. We are showing other people an example to show you that whenever whoever doesn't want to follow us, this is the same thing that we're going to do to each and everyone who doesn't follow us." So it wasn't easy for me to bear with this kind of life, when you're born and with your joints and you have no any problem, but by the time people, make you like this, cut off your arms, it's really sad. It's really sad. I come from Gororero, which was called Ramba by the time, heading to Rubavu, and Rubavu by that time was called Gisenyi. We took a bus. We were about more than 18 people in the bus. So we came, when we reached the place called Nyakiriba. In the crosses, there's different crosses, like corners there. We fell in the ambush of the rebels. They stopped us there, they brought us out of the bus. So they took us somewhere down in the bush. They tied us up, and they started to beat us. So they unclosed us. They took us to Kanama, where they used to live. So that place, it was really bushy, and there were too much like banana plantations. So that's where they brought us, and by that time I was a little bit younger because I was 15 years old. So these guys were rebels, and their goals was to kill. They looked really dirty. You could not recognize who is who. They had no uniform. They started to kill when they got to me. So they said, we're not going to kill you. What we're going to do, we're just going to give you a message to take to Inkontanyi, because they thought we were spies. We were coming just to look for informations and take them to Inkontanyi. So it was a hard time. It was a difficult time. It's hard even for me to explain this because it was really horrible. Because that time, some people do read this in books and history, and others take it as history. It was really hard for me and for the people that we were together. These people were terrible. So they could cut your hands, cut your legs, also cut off your head. Like to the people who they recognize as spies, they could cut off your head. They tied my arms here behind in order to have the full access to our bodies and to torture us. They say they're going to write a letter and give it to me, even though I didn't know which letter and to whom I was supposed to take this letter to. So they brought me, and there was a piece of tree that was cut down. That's where they brought me. They made me sit down, and they untied me. They brought my both arms. They put on that piece of tree, because they had machetes and they had different things like guns. They had machetes. They put my arms on that piece of tree, so they started to cut my arms. So I thought they're going to give me the letter to take it to unknown people, but it was the way of cutting my arms. And they started to cut my arms. They macheted here, like you see, it didn't go through, so they had to keep on cutting and cutting and cutting until my both arms were done. There was too much pain that I can't even explain here, because people who were tortured before me, I could see that most of them are dead, and some who were behind me were also crying. It was really a painful time. Within that painful moment, I heard a voice of someone saying that, why don't you cut off his head, because it looks like he's almost dead. Why don't you finish him? So they said, no, we don't want to kill this one, because this one is a messenger. He's going to work like a messenger, as a messenger. So what we say, this is a punishment that we have given him. Let him go and give a message to Inhotanyi. So that was my punishment. That was the punishment they gave me. So they told me to go and deliver the message. But meanwhile, so many people that we were together were dead, and others were burned within the car, within the bus that brought us. I was feeling too much pain, and blood was shedding. My heart wasn't really breathing. So I went falling down, standing up, falling down, standing up, until I got to the place called Bazirete. They did what they did to us, and they left us there, and they went. They said whoever survive will tell a story. That's why I started by thanking God, because God helped me, and God saved my life. It was tough for me. It was horrible moment, for me to rise myself up and keep on walking from a bushy place. So it was a bushy place, and by that time I wasn't even recognized that I'm naked. I wasn't ashamed of being naked. I stood up, even though I was weak. I tried to move, and I fall. I stand up and I fall. So I got to a place called Bazirete, and I found different homes. All the homes were abandoned, and others were, destroyed. That's where I got stuck, and the people came and found me there. Soldiers as well came and found me there. So they picked me up and they brought me to the hospital. So I thank you so much. I want to encourage you and to tell you that my story will keep on. And I want to thank you guys who were following me, and please do like, share, and subscribe. And I believe that this story can help different people in the community. So whoever is interested, please, you can like it, you can share, and you can subscribe. Like you see, I'm hopeful a person. Today I help myself and I can help other people around me. So this is from dark situation, and now I'm in the light. So I believe that this can help so many people. Thank you so much.